Hey everyone, welcome back to Garner Reviews, and today we kind of got a little bit of a versus going on. So it's going to be the HTC U11 or the LG G6, and I've got to make the decision of which one I would choose as my daily driver at this point in time. So before I get too far into the video, just wanted to say both these devices are phenomenal. I'm extremely proud of HTC and the work they did with this phone. I feel like it was a good step forward for them, and I wish them the best of luck this year financially and just overall. I hope they continue to produce good phones like this and keep coming out with innovative stuff like the Edge Sense. I like that. For LG, again, this was a good year for them, coming off of the G5, which more or less kind of flopped in some sense. But overall, the G6, great device. Feel like they hit all the right boxes for the most part. So LG, great job there. Continue doing what you do best. And yeah, so just to go over some kind of pros and cons of each device real quickly. We'll start with the U11. So the pros for me was the Edge Sense. That was a great feature. I love it. I love the way it works. The ability to customize it, to replace it, or not replace it, but to basically task it with different features. So you could have it maybe open Google Assistant, or you could have it launch into an app you use quite frequently. I had mine set for the camera, which is the default setting, but it was what I found the most useful. So the Edge Sense, I love that feature. I think HTC needs to hold on to that one, keep implementing it into their new devices going forward. Another one, the camera. HTC, I feel like you guys just killed it this year with the camera. It is phenomenal, phenomenal. I really like it. So much better than the year past. And I mean, I got some decent shots on the 10. It was possible, it was doable, but this camera compared to that, it's just remarkable. You guys did a much better job this year, so kudos there. Battery life, in the time that I used it, so I think it was a 2-3 weeks somewhere in there that I've been using the U11. Battery life has been phenomenal. Never had a day where I even got close to being drained. Some days I had heavy usage, some days I didn't. And due to where I live and everything, there's a lot of time where the phone is searching for a signal, which I know that can be really hard on a phone's battery. You know, it drains it really rapidly, but the U11 had no issues going through a full day and into the night. Most days I was somewhere around 50 to 60% battery. There's a few days where I got down to 30, but those were few and far between. So battery life, phenomenal. Performance, of course it did really well performance-wise. You've got the Snapdragon 835 in there, and overall everything functioned fairly smoothly. I did notice a little bit of a stutter with like the camera app, and I think that was something that is either addressed or should be shortly with some software updates. So I don't think performance-wise, I'm not going to really knock it for that camera incident. Overall, everything else functioned really well. And if they fix it, obviously, if they fix the camera app opening, the stutter there, I think they'll be on their way. And last but not least, fit and finish. This phone looks and feels amazing. I got the solar red version of it. It's beautiful. The flip side to it is obviously with that premium build and the glass back and everything, I kind of question the durability. It may hold up just fine, but I'm a kind of an accident prone person. I drop phones, and then the work environments I find myself in, not always ideal. So I kind of question the durability. A lot of folks, that's not going to be an issue. And like I said, it may hold up spectacularly, but just because of the materials and the way it's built, sometimes I kind of question that. So, but the fit and finish is just, it is beautiful. It's a great looking device, feels good in the hand, a little bit slick, obviously with that glass back, but again, for some people, it's not going to be an issue at all. So LG, the G6, some of the pros for me, the display. Beautiful display. I don't have a way of comparing it to like the Samsung Galaxy, but I would assume that that would be its probably rival. But overall, the display on the G6 is beautiful. I love the colors. They're vibrant. And I do like that longer screen size. At first, I wasn't too sure whether I would like it or not, but I ended up liking it. Of course, the body to screen ratio is really good. You're getting a lot of screen in a fairly small package, at least for me. Performance, again, this phone, the G6 functioned really well. I didn't notice any stutter, any lag anywhere. I haven't been using the G6 as long as the U11 yet, but overall it seemed really good. I do have a little bit of a question mark there on performance, just because they went with the Snapdragon 821. So they didn't go with the newest generation Snapdragon. I'm not sure why that is, but it makes you wonder long term what that performance is going to look like. It may function fine for, you know, the life of the phone. Who knows? It's hard for me to say, but overall, the time I've been using it, it's performed really well. Fit and finish on this phone also is extremely good. I like the way they implemented their display, and then their glass back and everything, and then the aluminum side. It's a little bit more squared off. It's angular. It provides more of a grippy. It provides just something easier to hold on to. I don't feel like I'm gonna drop this phone as easily as like the U11. And I like that their display doesn't have such like the curvature on it, I guess. I'm not a super huge fan of that curvature at the end. A little bit that's kind of subtle is fine, but when it starts getting a little bit more extreme, I don't really care for it. The U11s felt more extreme than the G6, so there's that. Durability, I feel like the G6 is built really well, kind of coming back to that fit and finish and durability. I don't feel like if I was to drop it, I'm going to, you know, see a lot of damage. I feel like it's built really, really well, more so than the U11 at least. I feel like if I drop the U11, something's going to break, whether it's the glass back or at least something's going to scratch. With the G6, I feel a little bit more confident about that. So another thing, the fingerprint scanner and the placement, I love it. At first, took a little bit of getting used to, obviously, but it's super natural now. It picks it up really well. I haven't had any issues with it not picking up my finger. Yeah, fingerprint scanner, definitely a pro for me. And it was very reliable too. Like I said, I don't think I ever didn't have it pick up my finger when I placed it on there. So, and then something else just with LG software. So this is my first LG device, so I have no real experience with LG Skin, but so far I really, really like it. I feel like it's done very well, at least to my tastes, and I like some of the let me rephrase that. I like some of the customization you have in regards to the display and some of those different settings. They kind of give you some freedom there. They have a cool feature, and I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's like a it's supposed to be easier on your eyes. They cut out some of the blue light that's coming off of the display, and it makes the display look a little bit yellowish. But I did notice that, like, especially at night, my eyes didn't seem like they were straining. It did feel more comfortable. So some of those little features like that, to me, make a big difference. I like it. Now, to come back to the cons for the U11, I feel like the fact that they don't have wireless charging, when I don't see why they couldn't have. You know, you have a glass back, there's nothing holding it back there, so maybe cost was a factor. But for me, not having that option, you know, some people use it, some people don't. I like having the option if it's there. So no wireless charging. I think a bigger one for more people is going to be the fact that there's no headphone jack. For me, I did try using the little included adapter, the little dongle thing, I don't like it. It didn't really work that well. I appreciate them including it, but you know, hooking that up and then hooking up your standard, you know, headphones to it, it was too much. I just didn't care for it at all. They do include obviously a set of USB Type-C headphones. Those work really well. They seemed like they were decent quality to me, so that's nice. But overall, no headphone jack. That's a con. I kind of mentioned earlier the durability. I kind of questioned that. And let's see, curved display, kind of already touched on that too, as well as the, well, no. So coming back to the fingerprint scanner on the U11. Overall, it works really well. It's fast when it opens, but I find that it's pretty touchy, especially compared to the G6. It always says like it's dirty or it's not picking something up. So I find myself wiping it off a lot, and I don't think I've had to do that on the G6 yet. When it does work, it's extremely fast, so no issues there. It's just it seems extra sensitive or touchy in regards to it being clean. And then this isn't really HTC's fault, but this is something to think about too. If you're a person that wants cases or different accessories, the HTC, the options compared to like something like an LG or Samsung or some of the other bigger names out there, there's just not as many. There's a lot of good stuff, you know, for it, but your options are a little bit more limited. That's not HTC's fault. That's just the marketplace. And so, but it's something to think about if you're considering these two. Now, as far as cons go for the G6, I question the Snapdragon 821. I think it's a good chip, but obviously it's an older generation. I don't know why they didn't go with the newer one. And I question whether it's going to hold out for the duration of this phone. Is it going to get slow? Is it going to get laggy? Those are all kind of question marks. So for me, it's kind of a con in my book. Battery life, it's not bad. I almost didn't put it in as a con, but overall, I don't think it's not as good as the U11. I'll just say that. I don't feel like it's lasting as long as the U11. Now, I am not going to say I've had a day where it's like totally been drained and everything, but with the U11, I had complete confidence I was going to make it through the day. With the G6, if I'm going to say probably on a heavy use day, I'm probably going to feel like at some point I'm going to have to charge it. Obviously with the G6, you got the quick charging and everything, so not an issue. I think it's also got the wireless charging if you do that, so that's great. So plenty of options for charging it, but battery life doesn't seem quite as superb as the HTC. It seems pretty average, and for the size of the phone too, like the thickness, you would think you could get a little bit more out of it, but that might be due to the display too. So as far as cons go for the G6, that's about it. Overall, I really like it. So which one am I going to pick as a daily driver? Now, this was hard. This was really hard. I'm going to admit it. I really love HTC's products. I'm really enjoying this G6. So at the end of the day, I ended up choosing the G6. And I'll tell you why. It had nothing to do with HTC. It's just simply because I wanted kind of a change. The G6, the display, all the pros to it. It's a great phone, and I've never really used one for very long. So it really had nothing to do with HTC being an inferior product. It was more or less, I just wanted to change. So I feel like, honestly, at this point, anyone in the market looking for a phone, the G6 is a little bit older than the U11, but I think both of these are really worthy contenders this year. I'm super impressed with both, especially HTC. I feel like they've kind of had some mixed years recently. And obviously they're just not the big powerhouse that someone like Samsung and LG are. So I'm really happy for them. I hope they do really well this year. You know, if it wasn't me wanting to just have the LG experience and to learn what this phone is about, I would totally use the U11 for the foreseeable future. I don't know if there's a phone out there right now that I would even considering trading it off for. You know, like seeing the Motorola Z2s coming out, I'm not really interested in that. I I wouldn't trade the U11 in for the Moto. The only one that's a possibility is maybe the Note series, just because of what happened the year before and what they're expecting it to be like this year. It's kind of got me intrigued. But even then, the U11 I feel like is just really well done. Solid device. Super impressed with it this year. So don't take my decision as in any way a bash on HTC. This is just purely me wanting to pick a phone that I've never used, that I'm enjoying so far, and wanting to spend some time to see what this phone is like over, you know, some weeks, months, maybe a year or two, and just seeing what that's like. So far, I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So LG G6 is going to be the daily driver for a while. And as you can see, I've already got a case on it because, like I said, I am accident prone. I even got a screen protector on there. So hopefully no issues with that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to just learning this device, getting to spend some time on it. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you guys have any questions, comments, please drop those down below. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to see you guys here soon. And I'll keep trying to keep things fresh, maybe some new content. Got a couple things, couple ideas I'm going to play with, and we'll see what you guys think. So anyways, guys, I appreciate it, and you guys have a good one. God bless.